I got a new journal, but it's like lots of things. Why? Ha! There we go. What's up, you guys? I'm Lindsay Cummings, author of a bunch of books. Zenith is coming out on January 16th, 2018. It's so soon. And I'm really excited because it's Friday, which means it's time for another writing advice video. Earlier today, I asked a lot of you guys what you wanted this week's writing advice video to be, and you chose probably the hardest one to talk about, and that is plotting a novel. Thanks, guys. Thank you. The simple answer to this is I don't know. I have no idea. It kind of just happens. But the long answer begins with this. I start with an idea. Sometimes it's a character, sometimes it's a setting, or sometimes it's a scene that comes like fully formed in my mind. But instead of telling you, why don't I just show you? Also, full disclaimer, this is going to be a very basic, crappy novel idea. Super generic characters, super generic ideas, because one, I don't want anyone to steal it, and two, yeah, really, I just don't want anyone to steal it. All this stuff is gonna be off the top of my head, ideas that I come up with, because I want you to see how it actually works when I am sitting down trying to plot out a novel. Let's pretend that we're actually creating this novel from scratch together and we decide, oh, we're super inspired by this character. That's where I'm gonna begin, is by thinking about that character. Sometimes that character pops into my head and they're just right there and they're real and they're fully formed, but other times I have to be inspired. The way I do that is by going to DeviantArt or Pinterest or following random artists on Twitter or Instagram. You never know where you're gonna get inspired. It could be from a film, a TV show. So today, let's just start and let's create a character. Why don't we call her Alicia? Why Alicia? Because it's a girl that I used to go to elementary school with. And sometimes that's how names come to me for characters. It's from a past experience, someone I used to know, or I'll mold two names together. So we have Alicia. Again, all this stuff is generic ideas that we're coming up with on the spot. She's going to be a huntress, and I see her as coming from a world that doesn't have any sunlight. Like, it never had sunlight. She lives underground, and she looks like Nissa from my Planeswalker deck from Magic the Gathering. Let's say that Alicia is about 20 years old. Okay, so stop there. I've come up with this stuff just by sitting here thinking of it, and that's what you can do too. You'll be very surprised how much your mind can wander when you're just sitting there dreaming about a story. So now that I know kind of the very basic things about my character, I want to know what world I can put her in, and so I start to work on setting. It's dark all the time. There's this weird like poisonous mist that plagues the world. I picture that it's like this big complex world full of tunnels where Alicia lives, where people are kind of like moles. They can't really see very well, so they have to wear these cool goggles that help them see. I started thinking about like what they eat in this world, and so maybe, because I said Alicia is a huntress, maybe she goes out into the overworld, that's what we're gonna call it, outside of like the tunnel system, and she has to go and hunt these big, scary monster things. Okay, so I kind of have like that basic setting, I see the world, and now I kind of have to start thinking of scenes that are gonna come along with this character and with this world that she lives in. I like to follow the hero's journey. It's a really awesome way to plot. I'll leave a link in the description for a really good hero's journey example, but I like to start with my character in their normal world, in their normal setting. I have Alicia in her normal world doing normal things. For her, it's like these super cool things, like maybe she goes out with her fancy like night vision goggles that are like super steampunk looking, and she uses these to see the big bad monsters that she's gonna hunt and bring back to her people to eat. So great, I see like a scene, I see an intro, I see her in this world talking to someone, and she's like, okay, I gotta go out and hunt. I gotta go get us food. Then I dive into changing things up, making things really, really uncomfortable for my character, basically making their world suck. I pull them out of what's comfortable, I pull them into chaos. One day Alicia goes out with her hunting party into the mist, and she's about to kill a monster, but suddenly she's stopped by a new character that comes in. It's a man that fights her, trying to save the monster's life with like light. Like an orb of sunlight, like dun dun dun, now we have magic. Again, this story is supposed to suck, you guys, so no judgies here. And then if I want to make things even more complicated in this scene where the crap is hitting the fan, when this man attacks Alicia with this orb of magic sunlight, he seems like he knows her, and he kind of hates her. He calls her Catherine. And what's even crazier about the name Catherine is it's not Alicia's name, it's her twin sister. And her twin sister disappeared like years ago when she was dragged away by the big bad monster things. But now this man sees Alicia, and he's like, hey Catherine, what? I know it's so stupid, it's so like lame and stereotypical, but that's kind of how story ideas begin. So now I'm still sitting here thinking about it, but now I have a million questions running through my mind. Like, what the heck happened to her twin sister Catherine? Like, why was she out there? Was she a huntress too? Or did she wander out into the mist at night by herself because of some like weird presence that was calling to her? And who's the magical man? Why and how does he know Alicia's twin sister's name? Her sister's supposed to be dead, so does that mean she's alive? How does she fit into this whole story? And after this man prevents Alicia from killing a monster, does she kill him? Or does she track him and discover an entirely different society where the monsters aren't really monsters and it challenges her way of thinking? Will she ever find a way to bring the light to this world that's just always covered in darkness? Is she gonna have a shiny orb of light too? Can I have a shiny orb of light? Just sitting there asking yourself question after question after question. Eventually, you'll have a storyline on your hands. And then as you go, you can start to iron it out. You can start to fill in the plot holes. And I think you'll find after that that even more possibilities will open up. And I could keep going, I could keep filling in this whole storyline. For the sake of distracting you from your own story, I'm just gonna leave it at that. Also, we know that would be a real crappy novel. But I hope that you get the point from it. I hope that you see kind of how the process works for me. It's really just a lot of brainstorming, a lot of latching onto ideas that pop into your head. Again, I'm here every Tuesday with vlogs and every Friday with writing advice unless life things happen. And hey, really quick before you go, this is really exciting stuff for my publisher. If you're interested in pre-ordering Zenith, you can register your pre-order and they will send you this awesome, like super cool necklace. I'm really excited about it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Best of luck if you're in the middle of NaNoWriMo. Don't forget that I love you, God loves you, don't forget to love yourself, and I will see you next time. Bye!